Hello everybody, this is DZ here bringing you another commentary, this time on Call of Duty Infinity Warfare. So basically today we're just going to be talking about the right gun to use to get a De-Atomizer Strike, and basically just my opinion on the game. So I am playing hardcore TDM. For this clip I was using the NV4 Fallout with the red dot sight, quick draw, and stock, and I also was using hollow point because I find it easier to get headshots with it on rather than to put on FMJ or any other attachment. For the perks I was using Ghost, Cold-Blooded, and Scavenger. I find that Cold-Blooded is a really good perk to use because it doesn't show your name tag on the top of the player, so it would be harder for enemies to detect you as an enemy player, so that's good to have. I'm not running Dead Silence, which is pretty risky because if some players are using headsets they can easily hear you boost jumping, but luckily I did get a De-Atomizer Strike without it. So the controller layout that I used, I put it on the high sensitivity because I find that I'm more comfortable with insane sensitivity. So I have it on 2020, stick and move flipped. So that is, I am shooting with the R1 trigger rather than the back triggers because I find it a lot easier getting kills that way for me rather than to use the back triggers, which uses up more energy. And I'm just more familiar with like the PS3 controller. Stick and move, I find that if you're a player that uses a SCUF controller, it's not necessary, but it definitely helps if you don't have a SCUF controller, because in order to win gunfights in this game you pretty much have to do boost jumps. You could do tactical, which would give you an advantage in like drop shotting, but stick and move is the way to go. You could also do bumper jumper if you prefer it that way. Using a different control layout also takes getting used to, especially if you're familiar with using default. But if you have played like Black Ops 3 in the past, I'm pretty sure that you've changed your controller layout to win gunfights. So changing your controller layout really does give you a good advantage. You can find that rather than having to take your thumb off of the analog stick and press X to jump, you could just leave your thumb on the analog stick, press it down, and you could move left or right, which really does give you an advantage when it comes to gunfights. So after getting the controller layout out of the way, now we can focus on the right gun to use. Of course I use the NV4 Fallout because it's very accurate. You can get like 1-2 bullet kills, especially in hardcore, which I was playing. The type of reticle sight you use on the gun can also give you an advantage. Some people have watched videos from various YouTubers on the reticle sights that can give you an advantage. This is a reticle sight that can easily get you kills in hardcore game modes. You could either do a red dot sight or ELO. It really doesn't matter. I find the red dot sight to be a lot easier than the ELO. When it comes to playstyle, you also have to be careful of not being too pushy and not being too campy, because sitting in a corner for the whole game definitely gives off your position. Enemies will try to like avenge a teammate, or will try to, if you keep killing them a couple times, know you're in one spot and will kill you, throw a nade or something, and that's it. That's the end of your streak. So my suggestion is to incorporate a little bit of camping and a little bit of rushing. Of course, if you're using the ELO or red dot sight that I recommended and you're rushing, you do have an advantage with quick draw. The kill streaks I used were UAV, counter UAV, and the Warden. The Warden basically spawn traps enemies, but if you're playing TDM you gotta be careful when you call in the Warden and where the enemies may be spawning, because the spawns could be very random while as in domination, if you have 2 flags and the enemies have 1 flag, you can easily spawn trap them. So as you can see, I killed that guy there for my De-Atomizer Strike. Luckily got a headshot with him. See how that hollow point comes in? Yeah, so I was freaking out. I couldn't wait to call it in. Just follow the steps in this video and you can get a De-Atomizer Strike as well. It's very easy, especially surprisingly in hardcore mode. And please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see some more, and thanks for watching the video. Take care.
Good job. Report to command for debrief.